Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, present, joined by Michael Campbell.
Present. Yeah,
Now for the last time, Samantha Haynes.
God damn it. God damn it, Samantha Haynes.
You know, I'm going to give it another 100 episodes, and if she doesn't show up,
we're going to really think about
we're really going to, after that point, we're going to really think about maybe not including her
Another
in
50,
future.
we're going to send her a text.
Yeah. Camber, I'm going to do you a solid. Mm-hmm. I've got the anecdote this week.
Great. Well, before the anecdote,
okay,
I want to just a bit of a disclaimer because it is summer here in Melbourne, and it's quite a hot day.
Yeah,
and we record in quite a hot room.
Yes,
and we know this isn't the most professional audio thing, but we do have a fan running.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't interfere very much with the recording, but if it does in any way, we just apologize in advance. It's nearing the 40-degree mark.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good thing because it's like, you know how when people sort of meditate, sometimes they listen to white noise? We just got a bit of that. Just in the background.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a shh from the fan. We've improved the podcast, if anything.
And now we're cool and relaxed and ready for Nelson's anecdote.
Ready for my anecdote. Okay, this is what happened to me the other day. I've been going into the office. I went in twice last week because my work is not very progressive, and they do not like the idea of people continuing to work from home. So we haven't had many COVID cases in Australia. I think we're 18 days free at the moment as of today. But so anyway, we've been going back to work, and I've been riding because I'm really close by. I moved since the last time I had to go to work. So I was like, I'm so close now. I'm going to ride into work. And I've done that in the past, but I was so much further away. I'd get super sweaty. I'd have to have a shower. And I was like, I just don't really like doing that at work. So I'll ride in. I'll take a leisurely ride and it'll be fine. I'm so much closer. I'll barely get a sweat on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was assumption number one, which was terrible. So
do you have facilities at your work?
Yeah, like a shower and stuff. Yeah. There's a locker room. And in fact, I didn't have my pants were actually my suit pants were already in my locker. So the only thing I was really wearing is like my business shirt. And then the morning was like a little cooler, in fact. Oh. So I decided to put on a jacket. I've only got one jacket. It's a leather jacket. It doesn't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a breathing sort of... leather has that going for it.
That's
when you need it.
I would say if you look at most workout videos online, seldom will you see leather.
Yeah, it's pretty uncommon that somebody's wearing a leather jacket. Anyway, so I start riding. I'm riding all the way there. And I'm maybe like 3/4 of the way there. I'm like, oh, it's a bit... I'm exerting a bit more energy than I thought I would. And I'm starting to get a little bit sweaty, I can feel. So I just unzipped the jacket and kind of let the air blow through a bit. Anyway, I end up getting all the way to work. And I'm like, I think I feel pretty sweaty. So I went into the locker rooms. And by the way, also at this time, I'm a little bit late already. I have a look in the mirror. I've got huge sweat patches under my arms. And then I was like, maybe like if I maneuver the right way, nobody will be able to see these sweat patches. And I was like, I think I'm a bit sweaty on my back too. So I turn around and I've got this huge sweat patch on my back. And I was like, okay, there is no way that I can go up into the offices and just sort of get away with this. It's going to look super gross. So I was like, well, I need to go buy another shirt, I guess. So I ended up like texting my manager. He wasn't there because we did like crossover days, with different people on the team. And I was like, hey, I'm here. And I was like, I don't know what to say. So I said, I I ripped my shirt.
Oh, good. Yeah.
She said, "How did it happen?"
See,
I said, "I don't know. I pulled it out of my bag and it was ripped already."
My initial one was spilled coffee, was what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. Spilled coffee is a good one. Yeah, yeah. No, I said that I ripped my shirt because at the time I was like, it makes more logical sense.
Even though you've explained it via text,
Yeah.
in my mind, I like to imagine you're on the phone. And you said, "I've ripped my shirt." And she said, "How did that happen?" And then there's a long pause. And then you go, I don't know. I don't know.
Just happened, you know.
Because then if you start crying, I think that would be like, "Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
Yeah. Oh my God, he's been mugged and he doesn't want to talk about it.
Just put it on my back. It was written. I don't know. Everyone thinks I'm a loser.
Yeah. Anyway, I had to walk all the way to it turns out the closest stores didn't open until 10 and I was there like a bit after 9. And so then the closest one that was opening was 9:30 and Maya was ages away. And so then I'm rushing to get there and it's making me sweat more. I'm off my bike, I'm just walking, but I'm like sweating more. So I get to the Maya, I'm the first person through the door. It's like nobody else is there. I end up getting into a change room and there's like no staff around because they're like, nobody's here.
Well, we've both opened like stores before, like and sometimes you see people outside.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, "Oh, people are waiting to get in."
Yeah.
Imagine the staff are walking the floor before they open and they look out. There's just a sweaty man banging on the door.
Yeah.
"Hey, open! Open up!"
I need a shirt. I ripped my shirt. I don't want to tell them either.
You're shirtless.
Yeah. So anyway, I as I get into the change room, I take off my shirt, but I'm still sweating so much because I've been walking at this fast pace. So I like kind of mop myself up with the shirt. And then put on this other one. The sleeves are a bit too short. And I was like, "Oh, fuck it." This is like, I felt really bad about taking it off because I was like, I'm still sweating on this shirt a little bit. So if I can't like put this back on the rack and be like, somebody else can have that. Just seemed a bit gross. So I was like, whatever, this is good enough. I'll roll up the sleeves, so it'll be fine. So I pay for the shirt, go all the way back to the office. There are 2 people back in the office on my level. And I am at the complete other end of the office. There is like, like barricade, dividers in the office. I 100% absolutely could have gone in with my leather jacket, sat down at my desk, taken it off, and would have been fine. Nobody would have known ever. It would have been. I was annoyed. Anyway.
And now everyone thinks you're some kind of shirt-ripping idiot.
I know, yeah. The elaborate plan I had to go to, and it's so annoying.
It's funny because your whole thing is you don't want to be embarrassed by going upstairs, but that actually would have been the solution to your problem.
Yeah.
Is checking.
Yeah.
But there's the risk.
Exactly.
Well, just a bit of a fun story about a sweaty boy there.
Just a sweaty boy. I felt so gross. Anywho. Let's get into it, Cambo. This first Reddit on Reddit was by, what is a username, please? And it was in the subreddit Made Me Smile. It's a pretty nice subreddit sometimes. Yep. And it's a photo of a woman sitting down and she's got a VR headset on. And there's a caption with it. It says, "Last night we had a 93-year-old guest. When she came in, she said she couldn't see much, only in her peripheral vision. We put a chair in the pod for her to sit on. She swam with the dolphins and said, 'Wowee, it's just so beautiful. I want this over my headboard.' Turns out she could see in VR. Then she experienced Google Earth for 45 minutes, mostly street view of past homes of loved ones. She directed us where to drive around and gave us the history of the neighborhood. When I was a girl, that house on the corner was a brothel. Then we went to Paris, where she stared up at the Eiffel Tower completely frozen for 2 whole minutes. Afterwards, her daughter came back and said that at dinner, her grandma cried, saying, 'I haven't seen colors like that in years.'"
That is quite nice, isn't it?
It's so awesome. Such a like feel good, makes you smile. Okay, lives up to the subreddit's name. And I just thought it was such a like beautiful thing, and it made me think about kind of technology, and I think virtual reality as a whole. And there is always, I think, this idea of we kind of ask ourselves the question, will the next bit of technology further, separate society? We will become desocialized, and what's the next thing that people are going to get addicted to, or, we will be, like there'll be some sort of human rights abuse through it, or, what are all the horrible things that can happen?
Yeah, where can it all go wrong?
Exactly. Where can it all go wrong? But I think that there's this total other side, particularly with virtual reality, which is just allows us to experience things in a whole nother level that can really benefit people.
And I find that sometimes, like, when you grow up with the technology, there's a tendency to be kind of cynical about it. So I used to have the PlayStation VR. And it's just a little demo that comes with it. It's like a shark dive. You're in a cage, go shark diving, it all goes wrong, cage opens, but it's like you just sit there and it's a passive experience.
Yeah.
And I remember because I'd done VR a couple of times and I'd seen it progress and whatever. And when I did, I was like, oh, that was like a interesting demo.
Yeah.
Bit glitchy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember showing my mum.
Yeah.
Who couldn't have been more amazed at this thing. Like, it blew her mind, this thing. It's like, it's interesting seeing it from fresh eye. And just that, like, I've seen the Google Street View VR app. And it's very low resolution. It's very buggy.
Yeah.
But the idea that this woman just stared at the Eiffel Tower for 2 minutes, like, it really just took her breath away.
Yeah.
I think is something that you don't always consider when it's just always been. Like, you really do take it for granted, don't you?
Yeah. I love that about it. Like, it and it's obviously still in its sort of infancy kind of phase, this virtual reality. I'm so interested to see where it goes in future, because I think that, I remember the first time I tried VR and I was like, whoa, I'm properly in this space. It kind of feels like, and again, like, kind of like you said, you get used to it a little bit, and you end up still noticing some of the glitches or something, like, oh, I can walk through this pole. How unrealistic is this? I can tell.
It's like the hand doesn't quite track to your paddle properly. You're like, oh, the whole thing's ruined.
Yeah. Oh God, take me back to reality. But that sort of feels like it's only going to get better, and there'll be more unique experiences that can help people. I know at the moment they're doing this like virtual reality for doctors, I think, in surgery, and they learn surgery through these sort of things, which is incredible, I reckon. I like the idea that you could also do it for, like how there's a bit of an uproar about veggie meats and like the Beyond Meat burger and creating meat from cells and whatever. And there's like people on the other side of that that are like, no, you need a good animal, I like the idea that in virtual reality, like, you can still kill animals if you want. If you're really lacking that,
as many animals as you want.
If you feel like that's what you need to go through in order to, be satisfied with your life, you can go through that.
The uproar about synthetic meats is really interesting, but baffling to me as well. Like, I remember one of the like established pastry brands here, 4 and 20. They came out with a vegan pie, like a meat pie, but it was vegan, and they were going to sell it at the football as an option.
Yeah.
And there's this Australian guy, and I don't know why he's like an Australian icon, but he's in all the lamb ads. And the campaign for lamb in Australia is, eat lamb, you fucking pussy. Like, that seems to be this guy just yells at you, being like, you're not a man unless you eat lamb, you dickhead.
Yeah.
And he went on this like social media tirade about, is like, it's absolutely sickening that they've put this in the footy. What are they doing? But when the answer to be fair, it was in all of his comments. It was very simple, being like, "Don't buy it."
Yeah.
They're not replacing the one that you love.
Yeah. He's just annoyed that other people are eating something where an animal didn't die a horrible death for it.
I got a friend of mine. He's been vegan for many years. I bet he probably misses meat pies. Wouldn't it be great if he could have one again?
Yeah. It's so funny. But yeah, I think, I mean, I guess my example is pretty stupid, but even like, let's say it got super realistic. Maybe then there could be unethical things that become okay again. Like, hunting, extinct species or something like that. Like, obviously I always cringe when I see these, posts on like Twitter or something, or, it comes up on Reddit where somebody's killed like a giraffe or an
big game
elephant
hunting
or big
in
game
Africa.
hunting. Like, it just seems like such a horrible thing to do for no good reason. But like, you know what? There's a small part of me that's like, that would be cool. But the larger party's like, yeah, but don't.
There is a very real thing here in this country with kangaroos. I know they're a national animal and whatnot, but they are a pest.
Yeah. We consider them a pest.
They do have to kill them to just population control.
Yeah.
Like they would overrun all kinds of farms and stuff up in the top end of the country, and they do just have to kind of go out and kill them for no particular reason other than. If they don't, then there's going to be a real population problem. And I understand things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying
I don't love the idea of it, obviously, but I understand it.
If virtual reality gets too good and we can kill kangaroos in virtual reality, we'll be overrun in real life.
And we won't know because we got the goggles on our head.
Exactly.
We'll take the goggles off.
Yeah.
And it'll be like that scene from The Birds where the birds are just lining the streets, but it'll be kangaroos.
All the kangaroos.
Except for like birds, I reckon I could take a bird one-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't reckon I could take a kangaroo one-on-one.
No, kangaroo fuck you up.
They're muscle on muscle.
Yeah. Has everybody seen a kangaroo with boxing gloves on? Terrifying. But anyway, I thought that virtual reality is going to be very cool. Maybe one day we can have the listeners virtually watch us as we record.
Honestly, we could probably do that now. We have a 360
Yeah,
camera.
it's actually it's probably... And we just bought a new computer, listeners.
Yep.
No thanks to you guys. Had to come out of our own pockets.
We subtly hinted for many weeks for someone to send us a top-end computer.
I thought it was very clear in my Secret Santa where I said, I want a $10,000 computer. And what did I get?
Yeah.
20-sided dice. And something else I
feel like our listenership is still in its infancy enough, and VR is still in its infancy enough, and the crossover would be so small that I reckon we'd have one person in with us, and there'd just be like a third guest that couldn't talk to us.
Yeah. Let's do it.
But if that sounds fun, we got the camera, we got the computer.
Let's do it. 3 coming to you next week. All right, Campbell, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by cross-posted to us by Avant Cardigan, but it was originally by Salbath. What is an extra rule your family added to a popular board or card game?
Ooh, I think, Nelson, you're going to have to do some of the heavy lifting here because it never became apparent to me until I started dating Stacey.
Yeah.
That my family didn't really do card games or board games.
Yeah.
Because every time I go to Stacey's house, there's another card game or board game that they're like big into it.
Yeah.
That I've never heard of. And they, when you're the one that's the first time and everyone else knows how to play it and you're like, I'm definitely the weight on the ankle of this game.
Yeah.
I get that every single time.
You need to outmaneuver them. Cambo. You need to study every board and card game ever. So when you go over there, you introduce a new one. You're like, oh, you haven't heard of Russian chess, the card game? Idiots. Rub it in.
I'm going like straight to like the most popular basic board game, but everyone seems to have slightly different versions of Monopoly that their families all played.
Yeah.
It's like, do you get the 200 the first time? Do you can you buy properties on the first go around? Things like that.
Yeah, because some people have this stupid rule that if you don't have a set, you can still buy houses on it.
Yeah.
You have to have a set, guys. Okay? It annoys me.
I mean, as I said, I didn't grow up in a board game, card game family. and my knowledge, admittedly, is very small, and even I know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how baseline that knowledge
If
is.
Cambo knows
If
it,
I know it and you don't, you're in trouble.
you're the baseline. Okay, how about this as a rule?
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a traditional rule in Monopoly, but did you ever do, like, if somebody picked up a card or they landed on the tax thing, or they had to pay any money to the bank, that it went on the free parking? And then if you landed on the free parking, then you got that money.
No, I do know the rule. No, I don't think our family did. We didn't really play it, to be honest. I don't think our family did do that, but I have played games where that happened. And I think that's completely fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind that as a rule. Is it every fine?
We did every fine, yeah. Unless you're paying money to a player. Is there anything that went to the bank,
right,
then you would do that. But I liked the idea of that rule because then it felt like, it's what taxes really do. They go to the people, Cambo. We were just replicating real life.
Well, I have like kind of my own slight rules with Monopoly that I like to adhere to.
Okay.
Now, I'm not one for cheating in the sense of like stealing money from the bank or stealing properties from whatever. But I think that if you can swindle, it's completely fine.
Yeah.
So my go-to is always if people aren't really paying attention and someone lands on a property with a house.
Yeah.
Someone goes, "Oh, whose is that?" I'm like, "That's me."
Yeah.
And they'll start paying up.
Yeah.
And if they don't notice, that's not my property.
That's
and the
fine.
person whose property is doesn't notice I've just done that. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's right. That's the real world.
And
you got to watch out for scammers.
I got to tell you, it's a technique that you would think it doesn't work very often. I would say it works like 3 out of 4 times.
Yeah, okay.
If you just say it confidently
that is
enough,
a high success
no one
rate.
double checks.
3/4 of the time.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm going to be so on my game next time we ever play Monopoly.
Because I think if you kind of like spike up quickly and confidently,
Yeah.
I reckon people don't necessarily check that much about what the property actually is and go against their, especially later in the game. If
Yeah.
it's the only properties you have,
Yeah.
it's probably a little more. But if you got maybe 2-3 sets of properties and someone goes, "Oh, that's my property," it's
I've come up with a new rule now for Monopoly based on that.
Yeah.
Is everyone buys properties, whatever.
Yeah.
But nobody can display their cards. So you land on a spot and either the most confident that says, "Yeah, that's my property," or if 2 people kind of perk up and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's both mine," then they get to debate it out as to like when they bought it.
So in
And
this,
then maybe you could give cheaper rent. So it's like, okay, it's $50 rent actually on the card. But if somebody lying says, "I'll make it 45, then the real person might be like, well, I guess I'll make it 30.
But the thing, in this situation, say I land on a property and you and someone else both say, "That's mine. Park Lane is mine."
Yes.
And you put your case in, and then someone goes, "Well, Cambo, whose do you think it is?" That's who you pay money. Like, there's the person who needs to pay. Are they the one that
I
decides?
think they ultimately decide. I think that's a good method. But also, what you can do is land on a property, and if nobody says anything, you don't have to pay either.
I've done that as well.
Yeah.
Land
You'd
on
have
a
to be like,
property.
"Who's got this?"
Do you have to announce, "Oh, damn it, I've landed on a property with a house."
Yeah.
Or can you shut the fuck up about it?
Yeah, I think you should shut the fuck up.
See, what we're doing here is inevitably, I've never finished a game of Monopoly ever in my life.
Yeah.
Because inevitably Monopoly ends in a fight. We're just expediting that process by starting fights from the get-go.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Yeah.
Straight away.
That game will be over in 20 minutes.
Because if you've got one person that's really convincing. Actually, no, that works well if somebody... Because the problem with Monopoly is normally at some point... There's like 2 problems, I think. One is the properties are so evenly divided that it's so hard for anyone to win.
Yeah.
Or one person dominates and then it's like boring because you're like, well, they're just never going to lose. But I think with this new method, if somebody starts winning, you'd be like, well, I'm just not going to pay you. I'm going to pay the other person that claims to have your property.
Say if there is like a tyrannical person that has a lot of the properties and a lot of the money, everyone else can gang up against them. and agree to never pay. And I guess it's just like a coup.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think you have to what you should do is as a group you then kind of tear down the houses, you know. You kind of riot, tear down the houses, and then rebuild, and that it comes to the open market again, and everybody can buy it.
Here's something I'm thinking of as well. And I know I said I'm not about stealing from the bank, and I that holds true. But I want to introduce something which is the Monopoly version of robbing the bank. Okay. Which means if at some point you can slip a note to the banker, letting them know that you're robbing them and get them to give you money without anybody else noticing, you can rob the bank.
A note that says,
"This is
don't panic.
I have a gun.
Act natural."
But if anyone else cottons on, you have to go to the jail.
Yeah, you go to the jail.
Yeah.
And you actually have to serve a year's sentence.
Sorry, not the jail on the board. You go to jail.
You go to jail. I like the idea. I think I would do the same sort of thing, but instead I would be like, next time I pass go, give me an extra 200. You know, it's a little more subtle.
Yeah.
Because you don't also want somebody to see the banker just taking out money from the bank and handing it across. But if it's muddled in with $100 notes, he's gonna know.
Or like you play the long game at the start of the game. You're like, every 5 minutes, give me 20.
Yeah.
And then slow, because I don't think people would notice that. People are going to notice the big piles of money.
You needed a low denomination whenever you're getting slipped something. Okay. It's a risky game. But then also what you need to do is, because eventually they might make it obvious. So first you hold them up, but then you say, I'll split it with you. Because you don't want them ratting on you to the other players or making it obvious when they have to hand you the 20 every time.
Does the banker need to the best of their ability, keep it discreet? In the rules.
Yeah, okay.
You can't be like, oh, here's the money you're trying to steal from me.
Yeah. If you're being held up as the banker, the rule is...
You need to do it as discreetly as you can.
But then could the banker steal from the bank as well? An inside job, if you will.
It has happened in history, so there's precedent.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Then the risk for them needs to be even higher. They're just out of the game. If anyone spots them doing it, they're out of the game.
They can't play Monopoly ever again.
They have to get a tattoo saying, I stole from Monopoly.
Yeah. Well, they could, okay. They could maybe purchase the get out of jail free card of somebody else.
With real money.
With real money. Obviously. They've got no money in the game. We've made them bankrupt when we send them to jail. That should be a rule when you get into jail on Monopoly, is all of your assets are seized. I think that should be a rule. That would make it a much more enjoyable game. You could be at the top of the world, have all the properties, then all of a sudden, bam.
What about go like real, high stakes but high reward? If you go to prison, all your assets are seized and they're put on free parking.
Yeah.
So the person that does land on free parking.
So good. Okay. Yeah. This is good. The game could actually take a weird turn. I'm really liking this because Monopoly has a problem with the mechanics of its game. I think we've solved it by making jail a much worse consequence. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Also, another popular game. I'm just going to give a tip to all the listeners out there. My family plays Uno. Everybody plays Uno. Uno, the rules themselves, as written, are just wrong. Everybody plays
is it like you can't put a reverse on a... What was the official one that they did recently?
I think you can't put like a draw on a draw. Something
that's right, yeah.
Like really obvious, like that. And you're like, come on.
There's also the one, like, because you can reverse the order, like the...
Yeah.
And then you can't put a reverse on a reverse.
Yeah, I think there's something like that.
So someone reverses it, then you reverse it back on them and they have to keep going.
Yeah. Okay, see, so I'm assuming that everybody knows those rules. The ones that aren't written down, but everybody knows to make a better game, that's how you have to play. What my family also did was, we said that if you had any of those cards, so you could put draws on draws, obviously, but then you could put a skip on a draw. So if
so they didn't have to match.
Yeah, so if the draw's coming your way and it's like, oh, you're up to draw 10, you can put the skip on. So you skip the draw and then it goes to the person next to you. But then they can put a reverse down. Then it goes back to you. And then we did make up one extra rule that kind of ruined it. We found out, which is that if you had a 0, you could just null and void that draw entirely.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh yeah, this is a good idea, because we got up to points where it's like when you skip and reversing and putting more draw cards on top, like we ended up getting to 25 draw card.
Yeah.
And then somebody puts a 0 on, you're like, oh, guess that just ended that.
The tension really just deflates stuff with it.
Yeah.
I think that there is a way to make that work, but it's not a 0 card. If you've got all the drawers on top of each other, it's looking like it's going to be a big stack, and then someone's skipped but then reversed, and you want to make it null and void. You put a live weapon with a round in it on the table.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to challenge you,
you spin it.
Yeah,
it's a revolver. You've turned the game into Russian roulette. Yeah, I think that's it.
The thing. It's like it can be null and void, but someone could die.
Yeah. I think what needs to happen is to make it null and void, you get the revolver, you put the bullet in, you spin it, you shoot yourself first. And then if it clicks, then you put it down.
Yeah.
And then it's somebody else's chance to say, all right, I'll challenge that. they can pick up and shoot themselves.
Yeah. So they can either challenge it or pick up. We've improved 2 games.
What an interesting
Who
game.
do we need to email?
I think just spread the word. Yeah. Listeners,
Spread the word.
Spread the word. Or if you own a game shop, is open all the packets of Uno and change the rules.
If you're in a game shop in a stripper shops and you're next door to a gun shop, pay him a visit.
Just chuck a revolver in the Uno packet.
I would say kind of combine forces. So when someone says, "Oh, just a pack of the Uno cards," thanks. You're like, "Cool, you want a gun with that, or do you have your own gun?"
You gotta bring your own. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Oh, just
you have an automatic
rules.
weapon. You do need a revolver for this game to work.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's certain death.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just
this way. It's a 1 in 6.
Yeah. I like the idea that we just invent, also alongside this, is we invent guns with bigger revolver chambers. So it's like, depending, you know how rules, it's like, depending on how many people you're playing with, it depends on how many, cards you need to deal out or something. Yeah. We create a revolver that's got 10 chambers. Maybe there's more players and you want to have a higher chance of surviving. Yeah. So
you want to theoretically be able to have everyone attempt.
Yeah. Do you know I have realized that we have played Russian roulette before with a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
And that actually works pretty well.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna say, if you don't want the death result,
I'm gonna say far less scary
because
it just kind of whacked you in the head.
Yeah.
But not even that. It was just ow.
Well, we ended up doing it. I remember you had to do it in the mouth.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that was more if you get it right at the back,
it got you. It got you pretty good.
Yeah. But you could do that.
And there is also the Russian roulette chocolates. Have you ever seen that? It's like a thing of chocolates, and they all shaped like bullets, but one of them has a chili in it. And you have to pick it up bit by bit, and then someone eventually is going to get the chili.
That's good. That's good. It's not as good as death, though, is it?
But is it a podnapping?
Oh, good one, Cameron. Good one.
Copyright, Michael
Cameron. No.
We should probably move on.
Should we move on? Oh my god, maybe we should move on. Oh, but maybe I only want to do one. Oh no, the other one's a double. Okay, all right, let's get into Today I Learned. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Let's play the intro to that. Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. I've got 2 Today I Learns here, but it's a double whammy, double 2-parter.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a better way to say that. Anyway, so the first one is by Turbulent Pianist 2. Today I learned Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak has disdain for money and large wealth accumulation. In 2017, he said he didn't want to be near money because it could corrupt your values. When Apple went public, Wozniak offered $10 million of his stock to early Apple employees. $10 million of his stock to early Apple employees, something Jobs refused to do. Get back to that comment. Maybe I'll just quickly read this next one to round out this whole thing.
Sure.
This next today I learned is by Quasqueldog. Today I learned Steve Jobs never coded for Apple. According to Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, he didn't do any original design, and one of Apple's earliest employees also stated that was the inventor, while Jobs was the marketing person.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe because I've been using Apple products for quite a while, and I know a little bit about the company, that I thought everyone knew that Steve Jobs was kind of a shit guy. Like, I say kind of, but I mean like completely a shit guy. Like had a daughter that he refused to acknowledge as his own daughter. Complete egomaniac, super hard on everybody, and the whole thing was always like, but he's a genius, you know. He invented the iPhone. It's like, no, he yelled at enough people until they brought him an iPhone. Yeah, he didn't invent the iPhone
until they bought him an iPhone. I don't know what I want, but just give me something.
I want to be able to touch the screen. Go work on that. And then someone eventually came back with like a touchscreen phone. He's like, now I needed to do this and I need to do that. Go make it happen. He's not down in the lab, is he?
Yeah. Well, I think that there were a couple of things with him, right? I think that there is some credit due to him because, I vaguely knew that same thing, but yeah, he was never a coder, and that's like not really why he had the claim. But
the reason that people know him as the face of Apple is because, like they said, he's the marketer. So he would get up and present the products, and he'd be like, "Me, Steve Jobs, this iPhone," you know, like, and everyone's like, "Those two connected."
Well, yeah, that's right, and I mean, even in earlier days.
Yeah, like the Apple II was their first
like,
real big machine.
But like even like he was the one to talk to investors and stuff, and like I think Wozniak wasn't exactly charismatic, you know, and you need that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the you know what, in Silicon Valley, the TV show. Yeah. There's Erlich Bachman, who's like the charismatic, kind of a bit of a dick. But, you know, early on, it's like, he actually has a lot of value, you know?
And they even make the reference in the show that he is like the Steve Jobs and the main character is like the Wozniak. Because he's so uncharismatic, but he knows how to do stuff.
Yeah, that's right. And I think there is a decent amount of value in that. And able to, I think what Steve Jobs did was like, put people together. Yep. Like he knew that this person's got this sort of talent. I've found them both, and I'm going to put them together, and we're going to try and work on something else.
And then I'll yell at them until they bring me my next product.
But yeah, ultimately the skill of, you know, being able to code something as complex as the you know, computers that they did in the early days.
I did see the post during the week about Wozniak and his disdain for money. And there was a comment there that I thought brings up a good point, because there's a caveat to that, I think, which is that Steve Wozniak still has a net worth of $100 million.
Oh, yeah.
So he's talking about like excessive wealth, but he's obviously like, you know, you don't want more than 150 mil.
Yeah.
Tops. Well, that's where you really top out, isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because, yeah, he said this was 2017. He created that. Although... So it ends with when Apple went public, Wozniak offered $10 million of his stock to early Apple employees. See, I wonder if you can't help but accumulate wealth when you are at the top, you know? Like, I'm sure he was like, he gave away $10 million. Yeah. He probably was worth, that stock was worth hundreds of millions or so, you know, like a lot of money. And I would just be interested to know that he still kind of has that value, but he can't help but just have more money. Yeah.
It's like it's like a niece of the Disney family, and she's actually quite outspoken about the Disney family and how, you know, the Disney corporation isn't exactly the most ethical thing in the world, and her parents were so detached from reality. But again, she's like, I also realized that I'm just always going to be rich. Like, it's just like, even though I'm aware of it, and like maybe she's a little more attached to reality than her parents were, she is like, it's this odd thing knowing that I'm just always going to be rich because of it, and because of a thing I don't even really agree with. You've just got that money there. You know? And I actually, you know, I it sounds like I'm having a go, but I actually quite like Wozniak, or was. I think he's a very, like, very kind, very generous kind of guy. And he is very big into helping people start their companies and about, like, freedom of information and things like that. But, it is interesting to... I think you do have the luxury of having that opinion when you've got $100 million in the bank to be like, oh, don't even take me near money, please. No, thank you.
Exactly. Wouldn't it be so great to be able to have this thought, you know, because...
No, not more money.
Yeah. I want to get to the point where money can corrupt me. And then I'll bring it back from there.
We want to reach the line.
Yeah.
How do we know where it is until we reach it?
Yeah, we need to get there first. I think it's funny how this ends as well with, you know, Wozniak offered $10 million of his stock to early Apple employees, something Jobs refused to do. Like it was just like a thing that, like, could you imagine the amount of people that if they created something themselves, right, and it earned millions and millions of dollars, that they were like, oh, I'm going to now hand this out. Like, so few people in the world would do that. I don't think, like you said, okay, maybe Jobs has done some questionable things in the past, but to me, this isn't one of them. That he give some of his wealth out to...
Legally and even ethically speaking, it is his money.
Yeah.
Like, it's the money that he earned.
It's totally fine.
And you could say, yeah, it's very nice to give it away, and it is very nice to give away, but it's not, you know, like, the moral benchmark isn't giving it away. It's you know, not hurting anyone, which he also didn't clear. So
yeah. I wonder what it's like when you get that rich, right? Because there would be a lot of pressure to donate to charities and stuff, right? And I know a lot of them do it for tax write-offs, but I think regardless, there would always be this... I think it's really interesting sometimes when you see online people trying to do something earnestly. Oh, what did I see the other day? Oh, I can't remember it now.
Well,
it was on Twitter, but somebody like, oh, we're going to give money to... Oh, it was Elon Musk. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Elon Musk. He was giving a like $1 million, $10 million, I don't know, reward for a person that came up with the best like carbon... diffusing or getting rid of carbon in the atmosphere technology device, whatever. And the comments underneath are like, you could spend that money on so many better things. How about getting the coronavirus vaccines out? That's an immediate problem. Why aren't you doing it there? I'm just like, oh man, the ridicule for... he's actually trying to help the planet. It wasn't even that he was doing something selfish. He was like, this will help the planet. I'm going to reward this.
Here's my question about that. This is the first I've heard of it, so you might have more details.
I do not, but continue.
The question is, what if he's like, I'll give $2 million to anyone that can come up with the best patent to get carbon out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then someone does it, and then he gets paid $2 million, and then Elon Musk sells his product using their patent to the governments of the world for hundreds of millions, for way more. For billions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, that's...
surely it's like they need to be cut in. Well, I'd be like, keep your $2 million. We'll work together.
Well, yeah. It's an interesting concept, right? And I don't know how it was phrased exactly. But, like, at the end of the day, that's absolutely what he would be doing. Is like, the end product will be a product that I'm or my company is, like, earning money off. Yeah. I would assume it's not like, hey, we'll pay you just for the idea. Although maybe it could be, you know, like, because if you... I imagine the people that are coming up with these ideas... would know how to also try and make the technology work, and they would be a sort of core part of it the whole way through. But let's say tomorrow I just come up with the idea of like, oh, maybe you could develop this machine that gets rid of the carbon dioxide. And then I tell that to Elon, he goes, yep, here's your $2 million or whatever. Do I really feel like I have I don't know if I feel like I have the right to then get any money from the future money that makes, because I wouldn't know how to create it myself. I had like an idea. If he hadn't have brought that up in the first place, I probably never would have mentioned it or thought of it.
Well, that's when it comes down to like intellectual property and how far that really travels, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because without your idea, they wouldn't have made it, but you don't know how to make it from your idea. So
yeah.
there is validity to both, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of a chicken and the egg. They couldn't have done it without your idea. You had the idea, but you couldn't have done it without their resource.
Yeah.
So I think in that way that you are kind of entitled, because you can't necessarily claim that you're not valuable to that whole process, since you are the initial seed.
Yeah. I see. I would be, I don't know, but then I think I would be like, well, because if his offer to begin with is, I'm going to give you, $2 million for your idea, and then that's it. You don't get any more.
Yeah.
Then I think that's still fine for him to go off and make millions of billions of dollars from that idea still. Like, if he's just very honest about, you don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
But if you do, and I think you have the best idea, I'll give you the $2 million and then that's it. See, I think that's honest enough as well.
Also, clever of Elon to hear all these ideas being like, nah, that one's not the best one. What's your idea? Tell me your idea and I'll tell you whether it's the best one.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Let me make some notes of that.
Let's
Nah,
go.
I'm afraid this one's not the best one.
Yeah,
so.
we got another thing. We're going to send all the carbon into space. It's probably way over your stupid head because of that stupid idea you bought me. But leave your notebooks.
Yeah. Put your notes in the trash over there if you want.
Yeah.
Leave them there. Don't crumple them.
There's this little pillow that's in the bottom of the trash can. But anyway, we hate Steve Jobs. Is that what we're saying? I don't know. I don't know if we had a point to the end of this. Maybe we should just move on.
Is this the only time you've realized that maybe we don't have a point to things we say?
Sometimes I always try to make a point at the end.
Oh.
But
I've never noticed.
The point earlier was put a revolver in your card games. The point of this one is we hate Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought was cross-posted to us by Just Judging Reddit, but it was originally by Fireball07. You could be immortal, but you won't know for a while. And there's an additional question that Just Judging Reddit has added to this. Nelson and Camber, what is the best way to test if you're immortal?
Well, immortal isn't invincible.
Oh, yeah. You just live forever.
You live forever as in like age-wise.
Yeah, age-wise. Okay, yeah, that's true, but not necessarily. You can still die.
Yeah.
Okay, so really the only reason is just to live, just try and live forever.
Yeah. Here's my question is, what age would you need to get to before you're suspicious?
Yeah, before I'm like, oh, wait. I think I might
here's
be
my
immortal.
other thing. Are you immortal age-wise, but does your body continue to age? Like, will you eventually end up looking like a shriveled little Yoda?
Yeah.
Because you're
Well,
700 years old?
I
And you're
guess-
talking backwards?
Well, I guess same sort of question, right? Because even if you don't age, if we were immortal starting right now,
Yeah.
at what age did we have to get to where we're like, I feel like my body hasn't aged enough?
Yeah. You're like, I look good for 60.
Yeah.
I look real good for 60.
Yeah. Like, I think, because already some stuff, I'm getting some grays in my hair and stuff.
How old do you think Paul Rudd looks?
Paul Rudd. He looks, I would say, young for what I assume his age is,
Yeah.
only because of, like, I know his
Yeah,
history. but
I know his age.
I would say, like in his 40s or something.
You're right. So he's 51.
51, right. Yeah, but I would even say, like, early 40s, probably,
Yeah. He looks, I would say he looks around 40.
Yeah.
And I want to know, because he's looked the same for a very long time.
Yeah.
At what point, because he is the barometer, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to start aging, or I'm going to start getting suspicious.
Yeah, we're all going to be like, hey, all right, buddy, come on.
He's an Ant-Man 6, and you're like, Michael Douglas is dead. Obviously, he died years ago, because he looks so old.
Yes. That's a good point. Maybe we should be looking for the others.
Yep. I mean, Paul Rudd's kind of a classic example. See, people say it of Keanu Reeves. So I think Keanu Reeves he doesn't necessarily look young. He just looks good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
that's
he's got grays in his hair, and he's got a couple of lines here and there. He just looks good.
yeah.
It's those people that they look freakishly young.
Yes. How about though even somebody that I just feel like maintains the same sort of look?
Well,
like
I was thinking about this with a very specific person.
Okay.
Which is I was watching the TV series WandaVision. It's the new Marvel TV show.
Okay.
And in it, it has the actress that plays the mother from that 70s show.
Oh yeah.
And she looks identical. She looks
Really?
like the same age.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to work out is, does she look great for her age, or was she way younger than I thought she was when she was playing that mom?
Yeah.
Because it's happened to me before. Like Stephen Fry in Blackadder plays like an old army general.
Yeah.
And only in hindsight do I realize he was like 28.
Yeah.
Like 28 to 30 when he was playing that role. They made him look older in the show. Like they put the grey in his hair and the big mustache, and he has that deep timber voice anyway.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder about her being like, do you maybe just look incredible. Maybe you're like 78 years old and you look great.
Yeah.
Or maybe when you're on that 70s show, you were just 40 or something.
Really, yeah, really young.
Because she's
and then-
perpetually looked mid-50s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I was even thinking, like, to me, Bruce Willis kind of just... I haven't seen him for a little while, to be fair.
Well, he's not really in movies.
Yeah. Because he's so old. Looks too old. But I feel like he's just kind of got this same sort of image. Like, he's just had this same... The bald guy, like, just the whole time. And I feel like, okay, sure, if I looked at a picture from, like, the Sixth Sense and then... Die Hard 4.0 or whatever, like I'd be like, oh yeah, he's way older.
I mean,
but
you
in my
said
mind,
Die Hard and then Die Hard 4.0.
Oh yeah.
Because one, he has hair.
Does he have hair in Sixth Sense? Do you know what?
Yeah,
I was
he does have
actually,
hair, yeah.
It's actually.
Though I
even
think it's
thinking-
fake.
I initially thought The Fifth Element, but I started with The Sixth, and then I thought, oh, he's in that too. I can finish this sentence.
Though The Fifth Element is my pick for Bruce Willis's best hair, short peroxide blonde. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Pretty. He should do that again.
Imagine if he did it now. He's like, what is he? Mel's supposed to be like mid-60s, I guess. And he just rocks up to like a red carpet somewhere with short peroxide blonde hair and like that orange singlet that he wore in The Fifth Element.
Yeah. And hopefully walking the girl in that has the 3 boobs.
Yeah. That's Total Recall, 3 boobs.
Oh, damn it. Okay, never mind.
Who cares? Do it.
Whatever. Have her in there too.
Because then someone would be like, are you suggesting they're the same universe? He's like, yeah, whatever.
Okay, we need to go back to the idea that instead of being immortal, we're just invincible. How do you think the best way to test that is?
Game of Uno.
When the gun goes off.
When the gun goes off.
And you're still fine.
And because then you're like, ha, that's a skip.
Yeah. Guys, I still technically don't have to pick up.
There's like a rule in our new Uno rule book, and it's like the rule book ends, and then there's a couple of blank pages, and then there's one more page at the very end with one sentence because it's so really not relevant to a lot of people. But like, if you do get shot and you survive, that does count as a skip.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to be.
Congratulations on being immortal.
Yeah, but also, if the draw keeps going around, you do have to shoot yourself again.
You only get one shot in the head. If you get shot in the head the second time because it's gone all the way back around to you and the bullet was in the chamber again.
Even if you don't die that second time,
you got to pick up.
You've got to pick it up. Okay. Here's another one. This is by Anthropomorphic Mango. Drinking cow's milk is okay, but drinking a woman's breast milk is weird. Sucking a woman's breast is okay, but sucking a cow's udder is weird. Never thought about that before, can be.
Well, it's all about context. They say sucking a woman's breast is okay.
It could be
with consent.
For so many different reasons. Consent, definitely, number one. I would say in public, also weird.
Weird. In a private enclosure with consent, sure.
And then also age. Because even if you've got like a 10-year-old,
that's a good point.
sucking milk,
Yeah.
even in private. That's still weird.
That's illegal.
That's
Yeah.
I don't think it's illegal.
Wait, are you saying that? Oh, it's a 10-year-old sucking the teat?
Yeah, and
Sorry, I
still
had it the
getting
other way
breast,
around.
still getting breast. What?
I thought you were suggesting someone with a 10.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't
yes.
thinking that.
We're-
But also, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just illegal.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that we
Yeah, I
agree.
was
That's
thinking of,
because
like,
when you were like, "No, it's
a
not that
young-
illegal," I was like, "Whoa!" And I was like,
I was thinking of like a young child still getting breastfed from
Gotcha,
their mother
gotcha.
at 10 years old.
"Yeah, gotcha. Not illegal, just weird."
Cleared that one up. Also, a pedophile.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. There's a lot of cases where sucking a boob is weird.
Again, what if the cow had been bitten by a snake on the teat and you want to save that cow? I think it's completely appropriate to suck that cow's teat.
Nah, you have not done your first aid course.
Is it inappropriate to suck a cow's teat, or is it just really dangerous because they might stomp on you?
Is it dangerous? Well,
And it's very like unpasteurized milk.
yeah, which is fine. Yeah. We had this conversation once before, by the way. It's funny that you bring this up because unpasteurized milk is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with drinking milk. But I remember, and you said that you were like, oh, it gets rid of like bacteria or something like that. But it's not. It's just like they add sugars or something to it.
To make it taste good.
To make it taste good.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
I
sure
don't know, yeah, something
unpasteurized
good.
milk tastes like pretty sour, or I'm sure it's not as sweet as the full cream milk you might drink.
Yeah, there's definitely something to it. And I just remember thinking like, oh, I don't think that's quite right. Anyway,
Thanks for bringing it back up.
I brought up a point like ages ago where you said something wrong, and I've been holding on to it this whole time. Maybe we'll come back up in the podcast and I'll prove it wrong. And we got to that point, and I only vaguely remember that you were slightly wrong, and I don't even really remember why. Anyway, but my uncle's a farmer, and he's I think the problem with that is you can get pooed on quite easily.
Right.
Apparently. So that's the downside. But maybe I'm interested now to see if I could do that. Like, would it be that weird? I don't know.
It'd certainly be weird, as in like it doesn't occur very often.
Yeah.
It'd be a novelty.
But would it...
Not since the movie Freddy Got Fingered have I seen a man suck a cow's teat.
Oh, I don't even remember that. I don't think I've seen that movie. Anyway,
It's not good.
does he enjoy it?
He does it for shock value. It's Tom Green.
Okay.
You know when Tom Green was like popular for like a year?
I don't know who Tom Green is.
Well, I guess proves my point.
yeah. How is he aged?
He seems older. Like he doesn't look immortal.
Okay.
Married Drew Barrymore for a bit.
For a bit.
Like I'm still like days.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. With these bloody celebrities getting married. Okay, but let's move on and get into podnapping.
Oh my god, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
That's you, Nelson.
Oh. This is podnapping.
Oh, good.
Where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation, a segment from another podcast, and we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's Cameron's week this week, which is why I expected him to take on.
Yes, so I'm actually doing one that was sent in to us
Okay.
by Amanda. And she's tagged it urgent podnapping business because last week we did encourage people to send us emails tagged as urgent.
Yeah.
She says, "Hi guys, Happy New Year and all that. As I write this email, the incumbent president of the United States has less than 12 hours left in office. And since we're reading it on today, that's bad news for Joe Biden, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would mean he's the president at the moment.
That's true.
Yep.
She didn't think about the fact that we'd read this late.
I was feeling very worried that he might leave a nuclear hit on China or something equally heinous as a going away present, but I'm feeling much more relaxed now, knowing that I'm one of the chosen million who will be on board this spaceship with all your fellow Reddit listeners. Just for new listeners, that's not a cult.
Yeah. Well,
It was more someone proposed the question if we got to choose the million people to go into space.
Yeah.
We selected the listeners.
but could it be a cult?
I'm not against it.
We'll mull it over.
Oh, and did I mention that all my friends and family are also huge fans of the podcast? Well, I think to really prove that, they're all going to have to leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
It's the only way.
Anyway, leave a review or you're not on the ship. Very excited to be using the high priority field of my email. I've been emailing since the mid-90s and I've never used the field before. It's the little things. Anyway, I do have a podnapping segment for you, and I can't even remember where I got this idea from. And honestly, it was only the past week that I got this idea. Have I stolen it from a podcast, from a TV show, something I read? No idea. But thanks to whoever who got this in this form, and here it goes. Okay, first of all, it breaks one of the cardinal rules of Reddit on Reddit. So you have to make a choice about whether or not you want to do the podnapping segment or not. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of loophole if you can find it. Look, if we don't have to come up with the podnapping, I'm all for it.
Yeah, we can do whatever.
So yeah,
I'll kill a man if I don't have to come up with podnapping.
That's the podnapping. Let's murder this man.
Yeah, I'd kill somebody.
So yeah, it's a Google game. I'll give you guys a list of Google questions, and you each have to give 3 answers that you think Google will come up with. The person whose answer is the highest on Google's list gets 3 points. The person with the second highest answer gets 2 points. Lowest answer gets 1 point. Obviously, you need to come up with the answers before you Google the question. So, Nelson, do you want to load the Google homepage?
Yes.
The actual main one.
Well, first of all, Cambo, I knew that I was going to have to Google. So I've just tested Google just to see if it's working correctly. And I Googled, what is pasteurized milk? Just in case anybody was wondering. And I've realized what happened is that, so pasteurized milk is when it's treated, the milk is treated with mild heat, usually less than 100 degrees Celsius, to eliminate pathogens and extend shelf life. And so I still can't remember what you said last time. But just in case anybody was wondering, I think maybe you said something about
bacteria.
I think maybe you said something about sugars.
Okay.
Which is what I thought it was.
Right.
But anyway, no, but I just thought if anybody was interested in knowing. Okay.
So we're on the Google homepage.
I'm going to go on the Google homepage.
Now, the first question is, and we need to come up with what we think the top results are going to be first.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't type in yet. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The first question is, and there's 15 of them.
Okay.
Is what is the difference between? So if we were to type in what is the difference between, what is the top Google searched result going to be?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's actually a tricky one.
I'm going to say that America is going to take a lot of these results. For instance, like
I think
some
there's
of the ones
also
further down.
geolocation linked in with Google. Just by the way,
okay.
So what we type in might be different to somebody in America.
Right. Well, because I was thinking about trends, and I'm thinking the presidential thing is. So I was going to be like, what is the difference between president and prime minister or something like that? Might be like a trending search.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that's so good. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking like, I think, you know what? Can I kind of steal part of your idea?
Okay.
Because I want to maybe go like, what's the difference between like the Democratic Party and the
Republican Party. There,
maybe
yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, you might be on the right lines there, I think.
But I also think it'll be something just generic that people have searched for.
Look, I've got milk on the brain. So all I can think of is what's the difference between milk and soy milk.
Yeah. What is
we're supposed to do 3. So I'm going to go, what's the difference between president and prime minister? Okay. What's the difference between milk and soy milk? And I'm going to chuck in... the problem is I'm just looking at objects in the room. Because the next one that came to mind was, what's the difference between a guitar and bass guitar?
Okay.
But there is a guitar sitting next to you.
Yeah, okay. I'll do the... Oh, man. This point thing... Doing 3 each time is going to be hard.
Well, we can alter it if it's easy. Maybe we just pick what one we think will be. And if it's high, whatever's highest, or if it shows up at all, you get points.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So I'll do the Republican Democrat thing. Then I'll say... For some reason, I want to say, like, the difference between, like, 2 animals that are really close. In, like...
Well, okay, what is the difference between crocodile and alligator?
Oh! Yes, I'm going to do that. And tortoise and turtle.
Yeah.
I'm going to make those all my 3, even though you kind of gave it to me. But
well, you've got such a better chance than me. What is the difference between milk and soy milk?
I would laugh if that came up as the first one.
All right, type
if
it
that
in.
came up as the first one, I would assume this new computer we've bought is listening to us and feeding the information back to Google. Okay, what is the difference between? I didn't even have to type between Miss and Ms.
Ah, of course.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was so close with one of the animal ones. Okay. Or there's what is the difference between mass and weight? What is the difference between Catholic and Christian? What is the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist? These are actually all like
quite good.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Between
Milk and soy milk. What was I thinking?
this one's the closest to what I was thinking. Between lobster and crayfish.
Oh, yeah.
I just needed to choose the right animal.
Yeah. So I would say then we're way off the mark and no points. To
No points to all of us.
Okay.
There's also dementia, Alzheimer's disease, affect and effect. Oh, that's a good one. I think I googled that not so long
Yeah,
ago.
and sometimes I even still get them the wrong way. It's like,
Democrats and Republicans.
down the bottom?
You right down the bottom. So the second one, last one is between Democrats and Republicans. The one after that is between Republic and democracy. So I'll give myself a point. I guess.
That point. All right. So next one. How many days? I'm going to say in a year.
Yeah, in a year's good. Yeah.
I'm going to say I think that they lock it to. So I'm going to say in January. Since we're in January,
Okay.
I think people will be Googling how many days are in January.
Yeah.
And how many days since a car has hit the Montague Street Bridge.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, they're my three.
I'm gonna.
I only really took the real obvious ones.
I feel like you took the really obvious ones.
Yeah.
I will do something different
Yeah.
because you also helped me on my previous one. So I'll give you that. I'm gonna say how many days in a leap year
Oh, yeah, that's good.
because
Yep.
I wanted that. How many days? I'm gonna also then say how many days. Like something like how many days are there on Mars in a year or something like that.
Yep.
Let's leave it vague like that. And then how many days? I think since is a good one. So I'll say how many days? Oh, I'm going to say coronavirus related. How many days since the last coronavirus case in Australia? Let's say, because I'm hoping that this is geolocated.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah, okay.
Let's search how many days.
How many? Oh, man days. How many days? Oh, it already came up. Oh, till Christmas. Is the very first one.
till
It seems
Christmas.
so obvious, isn't
Yeah.
it? In fact, the first two are how many days till Christmas, and then how many days until Christmas.
Oh.
The third one, Cameron, you get points. How many days in a year?
Yep.
How many days till Christmas, Australia? How many days was Melbourne in lockdown? How many days in a month? What did you say? January. Ooh,
Yeah, I said in January. No, I don't think so.
Okay. How many days till Halloween? It's funny that like Halloween is just so nothing here for that to be a top result. And obviously it is geolocated because it's saying when Melbourne.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
weird. That
I don't
that's
think the world is wondering how long Melbourne was locked down.
yeah. How many days left in 2020? That's funny. Oh, lucky for all those
Can you
searches.
Google that?
Yeah, okay. But the last one, how many days in a leap year? So I'm going to give
nice.
myself a point for that one too.
All right. Well, so one of mine was toward the top, right?
Yeah. So you get like, what, 3 points? I don't know how
We'll
this
go
point
two.
is.
We'll go two because it's not the very top. So we'll go 2 points for
okay.
me, 1 point for you. We're both on two.
Okay.
Question 3. Who was the first?
Okay.
I'm
Can
gonna
I
say-
start this time?
Yeah.
Man on the moon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go 1 for 1. I'm going to say who was the first president?
Okay, yeah, that's good. Who was the first female astronaut? That's like very specific.
Yeah, and both astronaut themed so far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't really. I think my brain made that connection subconsciously.
Who was the first billionaire?
Okay.
That's probably too niche.
Who was the first?
That's just a good question, though. Who was the first?
Who was the first? Who was the first? Oh, is there one like religion related, perhaps? Like, who was the first apostle?
Okay, and I'm going to say...
That's kind of shit, but whatever.
I've got one more guess left. Who was the first coronavirus case?
Oh, yeah, okay, good. I don't like any of mine this time. Who was the...
I mean, your first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Who was the first person to milk a cow?
Okay, it's listening to us.
Yeah,
It's listening
to us. Okay. Who was the first person on Earth? Who was the first person to die? These are such
Wow.
dumb things to search. Who was the first president of America?
Yes.
Good one. Who was the first...
Say 2 points for me.
2 points for you. Who was the first emperor of China? Who was the first prime minister of Australia? Who was the first king of England? Who was the first person on the moon? All right.
So
it was
one
in.
point
I
for
get
you.
1 point for
Yeah.
me. Who was the first James Bond? Who was the first king of Norway?
James Bond, yeah.
A lot of just like titles of things. Yeah. I should have thought about that more so. Okay. Good one.
Yep. Hopefully you're keeping count.
I
So
know,
I'm on 4,
I
you're
know
on 3.
that you're up 1 point.
Okay.
I'm only considering that.
Nelson, question 4 is, what is the biggest?
Oh.
So you went first last time.
Yeah.
I'll go first this time. What is the biggest animal on Earth?
Okay, yeah, that's good. What is the biggest? I don't think it's right, but I want to say. Oh, you know what? I'll just narrow that down. I'm going to say, what is the biggest dog?
Oh, I'm going to say, what is the biggest country?
See, I was going to say country,
Yeah.
but I feel like
But
maybe
then you
that
went
doesn't
dog.
make sense too much. Like highest population or something. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, it's still a solid one, I think. What is the?
I mean, you talk about the questions not making sense, but a lot of the questions, the autocomplete don't. Who was the first person to die?
Yeah. Okay, what is the biggest planet?
Oh, that's good. What is the biggest... Oh, one more. What is the biggest film of all time?
Oh, good one. God damn it. Okay, I'll go music then.
Yeah.
What is the biggest song of all time, I guess?
I'll give you artist, though, if it comes up.
Oh, thank you. That's quite kind of you.
It won't.
What is the biggest number? Is the very first one. Oh, God damn it.
Well, it's Nelson's number.
It was my number. Nelson, that's the number. What is the biggest country in the world? I'm so annoyed that I gave that one up.
For dog.
Because for dog. And the next one underneath that is, what is the biggest animal in the world? Which
Yeah,
is
boy.
also, so yeah, I just feel like what is the biggest country in the world doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, no, I don't think it does either, but I think people
Yeah.
would search it.
Yeah, freaking idiots in the world.
It's not about making sense, it's about what people are
Yeah.
searching.
What is the biggest spider in the world? What is the biggest island in the world? What is the biggest city in the world? What is the biggest star? Come on! Why is not planet there? Oh, I'm going to get a point, Cambo. What is the biggest number in the world? What is the biggest...
Wasn't number the first
It
one?
was just, what is the biggest number?
Oh, right.
What is the biggest snake in the world? And what is the biggest dog in the world? I'll
Nice.
give myself a point, but I think you got 3.
Yeah, I'll give myself 3 points.
3?
'Cause I got, mine were 2 and 3, right? Results 2 and 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that would leave
Yeah,
me to 7. I'm
Yeah.
on 7
So I feel like you get 3 if you get the top one, right? Maybe we...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then it's 2 after that, and then like 1 after that.
Yeah, it's a bit rubbery after
Yeah,
that.
we go.
But yeah, I'm on 7 points. I believe you're on 5.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, we might have to cut this down just a little bit because there's still quite a few to go. So I'm going to pick just some of the...
On the ones you think you can win. I see.
Number 6, who is the most?
Oh.
I'm going to... oh, no, you start.
It's my
this
turn.
time.
It's
Yeah,
my
you
turn.
start.
Okay. Who is the most famous person
Okay.
in the world?
I'm going to go who is the most wealthy person in the
Ah,
world.
damn it. Can I? Okay, I'm going to play this one because that was going to be my next one.
Yeah.
I'm going to think that the grammar will be wrong.
Uh-huh.
So my next guess is
Richest?
who is going to be the richest?
Who is the most richest?
Who's the most richest in the world? Yeah,
That's fine. Who is the most evil person in the world?
Okay.
So you got one more.
Who is the most? Who is the most heaviest person in the world?
Ooh.
Maybe. Again, I don't know.
I might go.
Oh, you
Who is the most beautiful in the world?
Okay. Who is the most famous person in the world?
Oh, nicely done.
I got 3 points.
3
That's
points.
the top one. Okay. Who is the most followed person on Instagram is the next one. Who is the most famous person in the world 2020? I'll give myself another. No, I'm just checking. Who is the most beautiful woman in the world? I'll give you that one. That's close enough.
So I guess I get one and you get 3 at the moment.
Sure, yep. Who is the most powerful person in the world? What did we say? Oh my God.
I said wealthy, you said richest.
You're going to be so annoyed. Who is the most handsome man in the world? Who is the most richest person in the world?
God damn it. So you get 4 points, I get 3. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. There's still 3 more. Who's the most followed person on TikTok? Who's the most popular YouTube? Who was the most famous person on TikTok? I didn't think about
TikTok.
TikTok or like social media stuff, but yeah. Okay.
Can you just humor me? When you search who is the most famous person, who does come up?
Okay. Who do you reckon it would be? Most famous.
Yeah, the Rock.
I would have said somebody like Michael Jackson back in the day.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking like because you could say Jesus or
Well,
Muhammad,
yeah.
but I don't think they count.
Yeah.
I think it's like a pop culture thing.
Yeah. Could it be like Trump?
Honestly, yeah, it probably is Trump.
Maybe. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's okay. It's funny because the very first image is Michael Jackson, but under that, number 1, The Rock.
Hey,
That's so funny that you guessed that right. No points, though, obviously. just want to clarify that. It's got a few pictures here. So first has Michael Jackson. Then has a bunch of people that I do not recognize. I know one of them's Elvis. Elvis is a good one. But then there's also Will Smith as well.
I thought Will Smith for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. And let's do one more.
Okay.
Let's go with. So I'm on 8 points. You're. Oh, I think we're both on 8.
I think we might be. Yeah. We might have caught up. Yeah. 8.
How many times should? And I go first.
Okay. Yeah.
How many times should you go to the bathroom a day?
Okay. How many times should you brush your teeth?
Yeah, I was going with hygiene.
Yeah.
How many times should you shower?
Okay. Yeah.
A day?
How many times was it? Is it specific? Ended
How many times should?
Yeah. Okay. How many times should you masturbate?
I'm gonna go, how many times should you feed a pet, be it cat or dog?
Oh, that's a good one. How many times should you... I reckon there'll be something with like technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times should you... I don't know. Something to like preserve technology by either not doing it a lot or doing it.
Like charge phone kind of thing.
Oh, how many times should you change your smoke alarm battery?
Okay, that's good. All right. How many times should?
God damn it. Times should I pee a day?
I said to go to the toilet, didn't I?
Oh, did you? I can't remember. Yeah, I think so. Was that your first one?
I don't remember.
No, yeah, I think it was. Yeah. I'll give you that.
3 points.
Because the next one is how many times should you poop a day? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, crap. I can't catch up yet. Well, I need like 3 single ones or something. Okay. How many times should you wash your hair? Oh, you said shower. That's very close. How many times should you chew before swallowing? That is so interesting. Could you
Always
imagine
sick.
You mean counting? Yeah. How many times should you brush your teeth? That's one for me.
Nice.
How many times should a newborn poop? A lot of poop questions. How many times should you work out a week?
Oh, yeah.
How many times should I run a week? How many times should you shower?
4
How many
points.
times should I feed my dog?
5 points. Rocketed there at home in the end.
I see. Well, you obviously just selected ones that you've pre-Googled.
I Googled that earlier. Anyway, Amanda does sign up the email by saying, anyway, hope all is good for the coming year. And Nelson, I hope you get a cat because they're awesome. Thanks for making me laugh. Hugs, Amanda.
They are awesome.
Thank you for that podnapping section. That was, I think that was quite fun.
That was a good one. That was a good one. So other listeners, come up with good ones like that.
And send them in. Though I do want to remind people, I haven't forgotten about the dueling songs that I suggested. So my next podnapping, not next week, but the week after, in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
get your song ready, Nelson. We're going to have dueling songs.
Mine might be Russian roulette
As a song?
with no. I mean,
Oh,
my
you're
next
podnapping,
My
right.
next podnapping. That'd be Russian roulette. Or my song. Is there a song called Russian roulette? Surely there's got to be.
Yeah, you write one. That's the point, is you write a song.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like something I could Russian roulette. I just typed in Russian roulette, and Google came up with Russian roulette, and then the next one, Russian roulette lyrics.
Ooh. But this is the problem with the door that Amanda's opened here with Googling in the show.
Yeah, we got to stop doing it. But also, I clicked on the lyrics for Russian roulette. Would
Yeah,
you like
good.
to hear them?
Yeah.
I'll sing them to you.
Yeah.
Take a breath, take it deep, calm yourself. He says to me, if you play for keeps. I've gone into a nursery rhyme.
Who's it by?
It doesn't even say. Oh, Rihanna. It's by Rihanna.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she
For
has
some
a song
reason, I
that
thought it'd
sounds
be like a
that.
metal song.
Yeah.
I can imagine like some metal band with a song called Russian Roulette.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so now it's Ask Me Anything. Well, listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Yes, got one here from Hazim. Says, gents, I was awake since 3 a.m. with cases and now came home and took a nap just now. I just had a very, very vivid dream in which you guys live streamed a podcast, except for some reason, this was the first time you guys were showing anyone what you look like. And Nelson was at least like 70 with dentures and very grey hair, and Cambo had long flowing black hair, like an 80s hair metal band, but was only slightly younger. This shook me to my core because I was so confused as to why I thought you were both in your early 30s. I woke up disturbed and it took me like 5 minutes to remember no, we've in fact seen what you look like on many occasions and I was just dreaming. AMA, have you ever had a dream so palpably real that it took way too long to realize that it was a dream? Do you remember what it was? Alternatively, do either of you have a specific recurring dream? One of mine is the standard, hey, I can fly, I could do this all the time, I just didn't know the trick until now. Another was a recurring nightmare from childhood when I was deathly afraid of being tickled. And everything in the world, random people, animals, light posts, and garbage cans with hands, was trying to tickle me. And for some reason, I was saved by Shamu, the killer whale from SeaWorld. This is pre-Blackfish, who rescued me through a water-filled elevator shaft.
That is so weird.
And then he signs it off by saying, this got weirder than I meant. Have an exceptional day. It's him.
Wow,
First of
that's so
all,
funny.
there is a slight trend of people dreaming about us. And I do like the idea that we've talked so much that we're seeped into people's subconscious.
Yeah. Well, some people listen to us as they go to sleep.
Yeah,
so
that's how we get them.
Yeah.
That's how we get them.
We should be doing things like send us money.
Buy a T-shirt from Redbubble.
Yeah. Have you had a dream so palpably real that it took way too long to realize it was a dream? I had. I know I've had like 2 that kind of felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
One was ages ago when I was younger. I don't think I was old enough to drive, I want to say. And my dream was that I was in a car and driving. I'm not sure if I like stole the car or something, but the cops pulled me over and my heart was racing. Like the level of like criminality that I felt I had done was the equivalent of like killing somebody is what it felt like in my dream. And I remember waking up and just having that feeling for a few minutes, like I have done the work, like that huge sinking feeling that you have. I just had that for a few minutes and I was like, oh no, like how the hell did I get back into my bed? And then, oh, that was a dream. Okay. Yeah. The other one I had was actually not that long ago. It was maybe a year or so ago. My brother died in the dream. And then I woke up and I was like really sad.
Oh.
And I was like, and it took me again, just like a minute or so to be like,
Dreams with people dying in them are real, like when you wake up, it does take a few moments to really register, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because it's subconscious emotion got to that depth of, you know, like distraught being, you know, incredibly sad. And then,
I'm kind of bad for this in that, I don't always dream. And also I have a real hard time remembering any of my dreams.
I'm the same
There was
in
one
general,
recently that I did remember and it was fairly recent. and it was really weird. It was like an anxiety dream. So I've been playing guitar a little bit lately.
Yeah.
And I had a dream. Now, the details are a little bit fuzzy, but for some reason, I was corralled into being a replacement guitarist for a band, like quite a big band. For the sake of argument, say like Green Day or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they're like, cool, you're going to have to come on stage and play this for the concert. And they all walked off, and I'm like, I don't know how to play all their songs.
Yeah.
And I was so anxious because I'm like, I don't know how to play them.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I need to learn all their songs in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like this real anxiety-inducing dream.
And then Shamu came in and whisked you away.
Whisked me
you
away.
were fine. It's funny. It's so... I do find dreams fascinating. It's funny. An older friend of mine... we'd always say how he thinks like dream talk is so boring. And he's like, ugh, because, it doesn't really happen. And so what's the point of the story? But I kind of find it fascinating. These dreams are like where your mind can take you and how it can convince you of the most illogical things.
Yeah.
Like, it's
But
so
like,
amazing.
I think like you can psychoanalyze dreams. Like for instance, I've been playing guitar lately. It makes sense that seeps into my dream.
Yeah.
But also recently at work, someone left and I took on all their responsibility and I don't really know how to do their job properly.
Yeah, right.
So there probably is something in the idea that I had to go play a bunch of songs that I didn't really know how to play in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Making me anxious. Like it's kind of like a combination of two things that were happening in my life at the moment.
Yeah, that is an interesting point. I do find that, strange sometimes where you can wake up and you're like, I was obviously subconsciously thinking about this other thing in my life and it manifested in this weird way in a dream. But dreams are just so, I don't know, so amazing because they're just so realistic. Like
Especially those ones from Nightmare on Elm Street where the kids die. Those dreams are super realistic.
Yeah.
They die.
It's weird. Yeah. Anywho, here's another one. This is by Vamp in Demigod. Hey, Reddit on Reddit. First of all, the subject line is high importance.
Yeah, great.
And as such, we have kicked somebody else who wrote in.
Out of the queue.
Out of the queue, because that's what we promised last week. Vamp was the first person to write in with a high importance email. Hey, Reddit on Reddit, just letting you know, it is not possible to send an email so it registers as high importance. That is something that you can only be done on the side of the person receiving the email. I did the next best thing and added Unicode emoji.
Yeah.
Just FYI, you definitely can do this, but I think you have to go through Outlook.
Yeah, it's specific like email providers.
Or programs, certain programs themselves.
We did not factor that in.
Yeah, well, you got around the rules. You got around the rules, that's fine. You found the loophole, if you will.
Which we appreciate.
Anyway, I would like to apply for the position of currency conversion correspondent.
Great.
The CCC, if you will. As you request, I added that bit on it. As you requested that Hallie convert the price of the Swiss Army knife add-on, I will not be doing that, but I will take on all currency conversion tasks requested by you two.
Great.
The only requirement to the tasks that I would like to request is that you two be able to name the currencies you would like me to convert, or at least the country the currency is from. Mm-hmm. This is so I can dodge the request that I know is coming, that of, please convert this to all currencies. Sincerely, Vamp and Demigod, Cambo Facts Informant, United States of Cambo Correspondent, Reddit on Reddit, Podcasts Correspondence Incorporated. P.S. I would also be happy to take on the task of designing the banner for the New Year's Bridge ad stunt, as long as there is not a quality requirement.
There's never been a quality requirement on this show.
Not on this podcast. Okay, so is there currencies? This is what we need. Mm-hmm. Okay, we need some obscure countries.
What is the currency in Spain, and what is 100 AUD in that currency? That's my barometer test.
Okay.
I want to see how snappy the response is.
All right, just like quickly on that.
Yeah.
I would like to make things more complex.
Great.
And say, I know some obscure countries, or I think maybe even territories. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say, what is $100 in the country Antigua and Barbuda?
Ooh, very good.
I think it's a country that might be a territory. I don't know. It's like just an obscure one that I read one day.
We're not the ones that have to find out.
Yep, do it. I have no idea what currency. I have no idea where that place is in the world. Or even if it could be one of those like dissolved, countries over time. So it would be interesting to know if, you have to find out where that did exist and then what currency they used. Also, throughout the ages.
Also, I'm curious. In the Bible, Jesus was portrayed for 30 pieces of silver. What is that in today's Australian currency?
Convert that into whatever currency they use in Antigua Barbuda.
Yeah.
And then because we've already got the conversion rate.
My point is, if a deity were to present itself, how much would I be looking at if I was going to betray it?
Oh, okay, right. Just a few schmeckles, I think. That's it.
That's it.
That's it for another podcast.
Just the two of us again this week.
I swear to God. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, readit podcast @gmail.com. You can also reach us at Twitter, Facebook, and our subreddit. They're all readit podcast.
And by the way, thank you to all the people that did write in. We did put the call out, and we did get quite a few emails.
We got a few emails in, but still write in.
Yeah, still write in, obviously.
Because
we love a backlog.
It looks desperate when we get to that point, So.
Don't make us beg again.
Don't make us beg. It was demeaning the first time. But no, we really appreciate it. So thanks, Vamp and Hazim. Also, if you could rate us on whatever podcasting service you're listening to.
Subscribe to us.
Listen
to us while you fall asleep so we get into your dreams.
That's what we're going to say. Thanks for listening, and we will read you later.